be my guiding light. Keep me company in the night.
What's up, everyone? My name is Brandy, and I'm from Chino, California, and that seems like how all my conversations start now. I'm on the MV World Odyssey on semester at sea, spring 2017. I don't really know where to start. There's so much to cover about semester at sea and what I've been doing for the next 4 months. Semester at sea is basically a shipboard community. It's a European cruise line that they have converted into a floating college campus. It has roughly 600 students from all over the world that I've never met before. Everybody who comes on here is pretty much a stranger before we met, and then it consists of the rest is faculty and staff's families, and we have a dean, we have professors, we have the crew that takes care of us and takes care of the ship, and they do bring their husbands, their wives, their kids, everything. So it is like a mini community, a mini town, a city, however you would like to compare it to. But right now I'm in the middle of the Pacific Ocean that I'm staring at above the camera out my window. And I do have a double outside cabin for those of you future sassers who want to know, and I'll do a room tour and another video, and I'll attach a ship video in there as well. I'll do the whole MV World Odyssey because I do know this is one of their newer ships. I believe this is their third voyage with this ship, and the last one that they had for a while. So I know that when I was researching everything and looking at videos and blogs and everything, a lot of my research that I found was from the old ship. So when I got here, I was surprised to find out that the walls are not magnetic. The new ship is much nicer. It's beautiful. So I'll do a ship tour, cabin video later. But for now, I just kind of want to do an intro and talk about why I chose semester at sea and what it is. And so back to what it is. It's I talked about there were students and faculty and everything, and basically I'm on the ship for 4 months. I don't go home during that time. I have limited contact with my family during that time, as well as friends in the mainland. It's day 3, I think, and I haven't emailed my parents, I haven't received anything, I haven't called them, I haven't done anything. It's just complete radio silence, and it's going to be like that probably till Thursday, and it's Saturday right now. When you're at sea, there is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of a thing. It is A day or B day, and right now we are on our first A day, which is kind of how your class schedule works. It's, you make a class schedule because I missed that before, but I do take college courses while on the ship. So does everybody here. We're all required to take 4 classes, 12 units. Everybody's required to take global studies. It's a gigantic room filled with every single student on the ship all at one time. So it's a class of about 600 students. They fit us in their multi-purpose room type. It's where we all come up for community meetings, and that's where we get all of our information. And there's a stage there too, because this did used to be a cruise ship, so I guess that's where they would do performances and plays and whatnot. So that is one of my classrooms with 600 other students. And then I'm taking a individual and family development class, as well as a adolescent development class, and a clothing, adornment, and human behavior class. I chose more of obviously the humanity side, and people and how they work and how we all develop and how we all become better, but everybody has chose everything from business classes to economics, and they have a wide variety of classes. I definitely chose to do this for a number of reasons. One of them was not knowing anybody. That was so intriguing to me, to know that there were 600 other kids out there my age who are interested in the same things I'm interested in that I've never met before. These are basically your 1 in a million chance of meeting that one best friend who's kind of like you, who likes to do the same things as you, who's almost like exactly like you, and you have so many interests, but I have all 600 of them, and they're all next door, they're across the hall, they're all on this ship with me. So I thought that was a very cool experience to just be able to come on here and already have so many things in common with people I've never met before. We all obviously are college students, we all love to travel, we all want to better ourselves, and we all want to, figure out who we are as young adults and really come together and figure that out together. So I thought that was a really cool experience to have because, back home in, my small little town of Chino, California, it's just, you have the same people day in and day out, and nobody ever really seems to change, and nobody ever wants to better themselves or do anything cool or, want to explore. So it seems like such a struggle just to get anybody to do anything. But that's okay. That's fine. I do have really good friends back home that I love and I miss so much. But I'm also excited to be able to make friends that are all across the world. Just alone on this ship, let alone the people I'll be meeting when I actually go in country. And I'll talk about in country a little bit later, but it's just a surreal experience to have to weigh the pros and cons of what you're doing and what you will be missing out on, and figure out which one will end up winning. So in this case, the pros of this trip outweighed the cons. The cons were more along the lines of, leaving my family, and that was something that I kind of had to compromise with, because the cons were more along the lines of, getting to see 11 different countries in 4 months, and getting to still stay in school, and meeting all these new people, and getting, gaining connections, gaining lifelong friends, gaining an eye-opening experience that's a once-in-a-life opportunity. So it was definitely the cons out. The cons lost and the pros won. So, but my family was totally understanding of it, and they were amazing. They were a huge support system for me, so I thank you guys so much for that. I will definitely be calling you in Hawaii. Please don't be mad at me. I didn't tell them that I would not be contacting them for weeks at a time. Sorry about that. So the prep leading up to Embarkation Day. Embarkation for me happened in San Diego, where we all met at a Sheraton and stayed the night, and the night before, all the parents got to come on board and see the ship as it was docked in San Diego, and us kids, us voyagers, were required to stay on land and just hang out with one another and really get to see who we would be spending the next 4 months with. So I met some people in the lobby. We all were like, let's just go to dinner. So it sounds really weird if you think about it, but I met a group of new strangers and got into a strange person's vehicle with them and went to a strange new part of San Diego. I'm pretty sure that's everything my parents have ever told me not to do growing up, was never to go anywhere with strangers, never to get into a car with strangers, and probably know where you're going. And I didn't know any of those, but that was great. That's what I came for this for, was I came onto this trip wanting that. I wanted to be immersed in a group of strangers and get to know all of them, and I wanted to be immersed in new territory constantly, which I am with the boat. This was a whole new territory, changing from living on land to now living on sea is a huge thing within itself. And as well as new territories within each country. I'll be in 11 different countries, and I'll be in each country for roughly a week. Each of them is a little bit different, but roughly 5 days is each of them. So I thought that was just something I was so interested in, and I could not wait to do, and I felt like it was a need. It first started as a want, and then it transitioned into a need, like I need this, and I need to experience this. I need to, because this is just my calling. I feel like I feel like trying new places and meeting new people and not just staying in one spot doing the same thing every day is who I am. It's what I live for. It's the challenge. The challenge is what I really am after, because I cannot just stay in the same place every day, day in, day out, just meeting, similar people to what I already know, if not just seeing the same people I already know, doing the same things, like, just want to go to the movies, like, sure, that's cool at first when you're meeting new people, but if you're doing the same thing with the same people day in and day out, it gives me anxiety staying in the same spot. I need to be challenging myself, and that's how I really grow, and that's where my real self comes out, and that's when people notice I'm the happiest. They always notice, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so happy now, and what were you doing before? And I was like, well, I wasn't doing anything. That was the thing. So, I really am just glad to be in a spot in my life where I am really happy and I'm really confident in who I am and what I'm doing, and I have a motivation now to continue whatever it is I'm doing and continue learning, and this is a huge learning opportunity in every single way, every single day. So I'm just really happy that I'm in that spot in my life. But back to Embarkation, the prep leading up to Embarkation. I kind of got sidetracked for a minute, sorry. It was a huge roller coaster, but all in the good ways. I mean, I had 2 straight days of just pure chaos, but it was not chaos that made you feel bad, I guess. It was like a good chaos. I felt like happy. Even though it was a chaotic day, I got to the end of it and I was like, I'm happy with how the day went. I'm happy with how I feel. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel agitated. I didn't feel like anything went wrong. Like, it was good. It was a good chaos, which is basically like the story of my life. A good chaos. Another point of the pre-embarkation type stuff was saying goodbye to your families and everything, and I told my family, I was like, say your goodbyes the night before I get on the bus, because I don't want to be crying on the bus or have like a big like family like crying session while I'm trying to leave. And so I was like, say your goodbyes the night before. So we did that kind of the night before, and then early the morning of, and then I had a bus time of 10:20. So that means there's something that the ship is not allowed, nor I guess do they want to board us in San Diego. So we met every SASSer, which is a SASSer is a semester at sea. That's what SAS stands for. So a SASSer is me, us, we. We met all in San Diego at the designated hotel, and they scheduled us bus times, and then they bussed us down to Ensenada, Mexico, and we all got on the boat, the ship, there. And that's another thing I'm really struggling with is the lingo. You have to have you should use the right words, the right phrases and terms, like this is a ship, it's not a boat, we are voyagers, we are not tourists, we are travelers. And this is not, just people in rooms, this is a community. So, and I think all that really adds to the quality of what we're doing. It really does pull in a certain feeling about what we're doing. It's not just so much like, oh yeah, I'm on a boat with some people and I'm a tourist. Like, no, you're a voyager. You are on a voyage. You are on a ship. You have a community of people around you. You have people to turn to when you need. And you are going to be travelers. Because we were doing more than just touristy things. I did sign up for a couple of touristy things, like I'm going to Tokyo Disneyland, which I'm super excited about. I'm a huge Disney fan. But I'm also doing things that make you, or can decipher between being a tourist and being a traveler. Being a traveler is more along the lines of you're learning their culture, you're learning their customs. You're learning their way of life and how they live it and why they live it that way, and what you can do to help bring all these cultures together and not just have like segregations of cultures. You're blending everything, you're learning about it, you're gaining respect for it, and from each country individually. And at the very end, you can gain a better knowledge of more than just that country's one story, which is, however we perceive it based on what our culture, I guess. Like, I know for America, we definitely have an outsider view from one story of one country, and we label that country off of that one story we've heard. So now I have the opportunity to see each country for who they are and what they're doing, and gain my own real life opinion about it. And if I get to choose to embrace it, or if I get to choose to, even want to, I guess, be more involved in what their culture is and what they do. And I'm really excited for all of that, and I wanted to really broaden my horizons. So once we got down to Ensenada, Mexico, we ended up getting on the boat, which was a terrible line to get through customs and everything. They searched all of our stuff. Luckily, I got nothing confiscated, whatever. We got on the boat, and for anybody who's a future sasser, I recommend getting a earlier bus time. I had a 10:20 bus time because I wanted to have like a nice breakfast in the morning at the hotel before I got on the bus with my family. Now I wish I would have done it a little bit earlier, because all the buses after like 9:30 kind of blend together and arrive at the same time, and it's just a huge line to get into customs. And it was about a 3-hour drive, so if I left at 10:30, we got here at then 1:30, and then we still had to do check-in. We had to get through customs first, which took us to at least 2:30, and then once you get on the boat, you have to go through another long line, which is it's the Kaisersaal, which is the room where all 600 of us have classes. It's kind of like the multi-purpose room. You have to go through a huge line and pass through a bunch of tables to get checked in, to get your room key, to get your room number, to get your class schedule, to get your medical forms, to get your shipboard account set up. It's just a never-ending line of tables. And so What's up? I'm so sorry about that. My GoPro ended up dying in the middle of me talking on the last clip, and I had class right after, so I just have to finish it now. I realized the video was really long at this point, so I'm just gonna wrap it up as quickly as possible. I just finished filming a room tour and ship tour, so I'll be posting that in another video. Today is our 6th day at sea. No land, haven't seen any land. We saw our first other ship today. It was a Navy fighter ship, I believe, and that was the first thing we've seen out here in 6 days. I haven't seen any other ships, no sight of land. We're going from Ensenada, Mexico to Honolulu, Hawaii, so no land in between there. We haven't seen it. Luckily the seas have been pretty calm. That's helped a lot. So the voyage I'm on right now, it covers 11 countries, and I didn't say that earlier, which countries I'm going to, and also a correction from earlier. There are 600 students, but there are only 200 faculty, staff, crew, and everything, so there's a grand total of 800 people on board. I think I said like 12 or 1500 earlier. It's only 800 on board. Yeah, they have nice little sticker sheets in the student store. This one's tailored specifically to our voyage. So, we start off in San Diego, they bust us down to Mexico. Mexico is not on this sticker sheet though. Then we are going to, tomorrow we stop in Hawaii for 12 hours. It's technically a fuel stop. So we did have to buy an in-country program in order to get off the boat, otherwise they would not let us off the boat. And we do have to go through customs because we came from Mexico, so apparently we're just foreign. So we start off in Hawaii, we're there for 12 hours, then our next stop is Japan, but in between Hawaii and Japan is, I think, 12 days straight at sea. That's going to be a rough one. It's pretty much double what we just did. Right now we did 6 days at sea. So yeah, then we go to Japan. We're there for roughly everything else is pretty much a week on, week off. So we go to Japan, and then China, Vietnam, Burma, India, Mauritius, South Africa, Ghana, Morocco, and we end in Germany, where the ship basically says, this is where we leave you, find your own way home. So we don't go all the way back to San Diego or Ensenada. They kick us off in Germany. So I haven't bought a return ticket home yet. I just am kind of playing it by ear, see what I want to do. I know a group of us are really trying to plan a couple of days in Germany, and then I think I'm going to fly from like Germany to New York and see what happens. Not too anxious to get back to California. Yeah, so it's been crazy so far, and tomorrow is Hawaii, so I'll be posting this video in the morning when we get there, as well as the ship tour and room tour. I have an outside double, and my friends Brian and Isaac actually said that I could go and film their room as well, because they have a different setup, but I think theirs is a double as well. So I was just going to try to give some perspective and different options as far as what it actually looks like on the ship. I don't know, a little side note is the way of life how it's changed for me so far in just 6 days it's been amazing. I sit down at every meal with a complete stranger. I go up to a table, or I'll sit at an empty table, and by the time I'm started eating, people have already asked, can I sit here, of course. And then it's just great because you sit down with strangers, and by the end of it you have new friends, and then you see them on the ship, and you do that every single meal. Like last night, my roommate Maddie and I sat with Brian and Isaac, they're twin brothers, and we sat there at 6:30 is when we got to dinner and sat down, and we ended up just talking, the four of us, till 11:30 11:30 at night, and it was just, 5 hours straight, just talking, laughing, having a good time, no distractions. We don't have cell service out here, so there's no way to even get on our phones if we wanted to. The only thing we have access to is our school homepage, which doesn't have anything except for documents and our syllabus and nothing really too fun. So that was just exactly what I look for on the mainland, and I don't get, is you just want to be able to sit down with people, have a good time, talk about life, talk about whatever, have no distractions, and just feel completely natural, completely guard down. You don't have to worry about, anything really. You can just be. And that's exactly what I want, and that's exactly what I'm getting here on Semester at Sea. And it's really hard to get people to have that same mentality back home when they have, instant connection on their phone, laptop, tablet, any device they want. So I thought that was just super cool. And we didn't even notice till I think 9:30. We were sitting there like, we've been here for 3 hours. And then we were like, okay, and then we just kept talking, and then before we knew it, it was like 11:30, and we were like, oh, we gotta go to bed. So that was a really, really cool experience. And that's definitely something I think I'm gonna miss when this is all over, but I'm definitely gonna take full advantage of, I guess, having that aspect of being able to talk to whoever you want about anything, and they're okay with it, because we all know, like, there's nowhere else we have to be, there's no one else we have to, that's, begging for our attention, like social media or just life at home. It's just calm, it's good, we just get to be, which is really nice. So that's a huge pro to Semester at Sea, is you kind of get to throw it back a little bit to simpler times, and you really get to just focus on community, and you get to focus on yourself, and you get to focus on making deep connections with people that have similar interests as you. I'll just wrap up the video with that. I'm already at 7 minutes on this new clip, so thank you for watching. Please just keep checking back, and I'll try to post as much as I can. I do have all these other countries coming up that I still have to post about, and I'll tell you more about the ship, Semester at Sea, and of give us insider tips on that and what to do, what to not do. So yeah, see you later.